an end of our 2 day long online summit. And this is the last session, and we have a very, very special guest coming in. And she's going to be talking all about dreaming big and going after your goals. Please welcome a really strong woman, Kubbra Sait.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm the strong one. Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, Reina.
Are you chilling in quarantine?
Yeah, man, there hasn't been a better time that I've actually sat down and enjoyed chai or stood by this window. I swear to God, now I've made it a practice. I wake up in the morning and, the things that you've been thinking of doing for a while, I've
Yeah.
actually started like doing them.
Hmm.
So I wake up and I write the 10 things that I'm grateful for every single morning. And yesterday I actually wrote, I'm grateful to stand near the window of my bedroom and actually look out, take deep breaths, and have a cup of chai in the morning.
Yeah.
These are things that I've been thinking of doing for the last 2 years since I moved to this house, and
Okay.
I haven't
Where
done
are
it.
you right now?
I'm in Mumbai, and
Okay.
this is where I live. I live in Santa Cruz, and I just haven't done it. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
So when
So
I
for
actually
a
did, I was like, man, I've been wanting to do this for so long.
Yeah, I know. Even I've been catching up on a lot of things that I wanted to do. So, coming back to our topic, Kubra here has been raised by her mom single-handedly, like, and her younger brother Danish. So both of them have kind of established their own spaces in the entertainment industry, right? And how much of credit would you like to give to your mom, your upbringing in, सपोर्ट चाहिए होता है, बहुत ज्यादा पुश चाहिए होता है फ्रॉम योर पेरेंट्स टू गो आफ्टर योर ड्रीम्स, तो आप उनको कितना क्रेडिट देना चाहोगे इस बात के लिए कि उन्होंने अगर प्रॉब्ली वो आपकी लाइफ में नहीं होते तो शायद आपकी जर्नी कुछ थोड़ी डिफरेंट होती जिस जैसे अभी है उससे. व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से अबाउट इट?
Like 100%, there are tons of possibilities that you can play around with. और जैसे आपने कहा, अगर उन्होंने अपना सपोर्ट जिस तरीके से उन्होंने दिया, अगर उन्होंने नहीं दिया होता, अगर उन्होंने सेल्फलेसली हमारे लिए अपने घर के बाहर निकलना हो या अपने लिए एक entrepreneurial relationship with herself, like she was a housewife before she got out and started working. If she had not pushed herself out of her boundaries, and if she had not decided to get out of her comfort zone, I don't think we would have been able to get out of our comfort zone. So we, I think, learned from the most perfect example in terms of how should one have an ambition, how should one be focused, how should one be driven, how should one never say this is the end when you meet the first hurdle. Because my mom as a person has always jumped every single hurdle, and then she's like made sure that we crossed every single one of them together, and that's how she raised us. So for us, we were raised to be very tough.
She was also your manager for quite some time, right?
Yeah, she was.
So what was her support like when you first told her that okay, I want to go in the entertainment industry? That's not what a lot of Indian moms would like to hear from their daughters,
I
right?
don't think my mom wanted to hear that either, because
Okay.
I wanted to move to Bombay right after college, and I don't think she was very supportive of that idea. She actually thought it was like every parent would think, if you're not from Mumbai, like every parent would think, she thought Bombay was the city of monsters and demons, and I would not be safe here. But then when I actually went to Dubai, had a full-time job, did something with my life over there, settled down, that is when, she had the faith that if I have been able to construct something out of nothing, I will be able to do that anywhere else in the world. So it was very simple. If I wanted to achieve something in my life, I had to prove that I was worthy of trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is, right? Most of us believe that, hey, but I have a dream and I should be able to pursue it, man.
Yeah.
but we don't really take the effort to convince the people closest to us that this dream is valuable to us.
Hmm.
So, in my case, for example, I actually lived my mother's dream until I could again tell her, Ma, your dream is not my dream. This is my dream. And when I was able to tell her this again, she was like, okay, I have the faith in you. You can go and pursue it. So, when I actually moved to Bombay, very
Do you
early
think
on,
your years in Dubai kind of helped you with your journey?
I've always credited them.
Or
I've
or do you
credited
think that if you'd gone directly to Bombay, you would have been better off, or this is just too unpredictable to say, like,
I
would
think
you
it's
be?
unpredictable, but
Yeah.
here's a little secret. I also believe that my mom has been single handedly responsible for destroying two of my most dreamy careers. Uh, the first one was I was a finalist in Roadies the first season.
Oh,
And I
nice.
told my mom I want to be a part of Roadies. She said, Beta, jao road pe reh jao. So then I had to go to college. Then the second dream that I had was participate in Indian Idol. She locked me up in the bathroom and said, "You can't sing."
Indian Idol. I didn't know you sing.
No, I don't, which is why she locked me up in the
But
bathroom.
you wanted to participate, so you
But I
had
wanted
that
to
kind of
participate.
confidence, right?
Yeah, she said I cannot have my respect being Uchalo on national television because you're definitely making it to the bad singers group. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you go there and Uchalo my izzat. So sorry, but you're not going to do it. So she locked me up in the bathroom. So I think my mom has done that
Hmm.
for us.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I think I credit Dubai because I started treating my entertainment career
Hmm.
with a very corporate approach. So simple things. See, my mom's laughing right now. So she's laughing right now because she knows this is true. Um, so the thing is that uh, I write good emails now.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's something we all learn
you know,
with the from the corporate world.
sense of being on time, showing
Hmm.
up for meetings when
Yeah.
you plan it. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, this interview that I have, considering it's quarantine, considering, hey, everybody's, working from home,
Yeah.
I still put it on my calendar.
Wow.
Because when you work outside the entertainment space, there's a sense of discipline that comes into you. And I
Because
believe,
there's so many things going on for you at the same time. You have so many things to do in a day. Like,
yeah, like in the sense, it just allows you to understand what part of your self you
hmm.
are, you are dedicating and pushing towards your work,
Hmm.
and how much of time in a day do you have for yourself, because it's very important whether you are working for a corporate job or whether you are working for yourself.
Hmm. Okay.
It's extremely important you realize that you divide your day and have clarity on what exactly you are doing instead of living in a myth or living in a bubble. Hey, dude, I'm always busy. I'm always busy.
Yeah.
You actually don't end up making time for your dream
Hmm.
when you're always thinking you are busy and you're not actually busy.
A lot of us also who don't, not everybody is as lucky to get the support of their parents, right? But एक point आ जाता है जिसके बाद you can't keep blaming your parents for your failures, like suppose you turn 28, or I'm just saying like 25, even 24, 25, and then you can't be saying, and you're working independently, you can't be saying कि उन्होंने मुझे बोला ये करने के लिए and I did that, and because of that I couldn't follow my dreams. After a point you have to muster that courage and get up and just go after that once you're
I did
financially
it at
independent.
27.
Yeah.
I did it at 27. At 27 is when I decided to move. And that's the whole point. The point, and yet, it takes you 10 years to be a success. If there is something called a concept called success,
Hmm.
because nothing is absolute.
How did you muster that courage at that time? Suppose your mom didn't agree to you at that time. She said कि नहीं, probably your mom understood, but a lot of our parents, I mean, I'll say just Indian parents, not who aren't that well off, so they wouldn't have let, their daughters, and they probably some of them might have even disowned their own children, right? For the sake of, okay, if she's doing that, then I don't want to have any links with her. So how does one proceed from there? How does one go ahead and reach out for their dreams when they have no family support? Because you can't be blaming your parents for the rest of your life. You can't be turning 40 and saying, oh, my parents ruined my life.
So,
Yeah.
no. So to answer your question with what, as they say, there are exceptions to every rule. I would like to believe that I'm extremely lucky, extremely blessed that I was born and raised by mom. And my mom was actually my greatest champion. And she always saw faith in me when I didn't see faith in myself. And when I don't see it anymore. Uh, yeah, so, for me, it actually became a sense of courage that, I actually, didn't have to really fight the tide. But as far as considering the other parents who fall into the rule bracket, I think children should make them realize, actually, children should realize that they're not children.
Yeah.
With. Children should realize that they're adults and they should be able to take responsibility for their actions and be like, hey, if I fail, this is going to be my failure, but this is my calculated risk. I'm going to give myself 6 months. If I don't make it in 6 months, I'm going to have scenario A, scenario B, scenario C, scenario D. But the whole point is, if you want to try something new, please make sure that you have blueprints. Take calculated risks in your life.
Yeah. So did you have I know that you had like multiple careers going for you, right? You had a lot of
like
backups after backups, and you were doing a lot of things. So how did you take that calculative risk from your journey, if you could
So I
share?
actually, sat with my mom only. I sat with her at a restaurant in Dubai, a sidewalk restaurant in Dubai, and I actually wrote my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I actually sat down and I honestly wrote it. I still have it in my thing. And in fact, the other day I shared a part of it because I had written being outspoken was one of my disadvantages. It was one of my weaknesses. And I had written it as one of my strengths. I actually didn't know where it belonged. So that's the kind of detail that you go into, and that's the kind of honesty that you need to deal with when you're asking yourself questions. The minute you decide that this is not my chosen path, this is not the career that I choose to be in, and it's something else that I truly choose to follow, then you need to understand that I need to have a framework to get this through. And you also need to be prepared that, like, for example, say it's a corporate job, right, that we're talking about. Say my dream is to be the CEO of a company. I will not start from being the CEO, right?
Exactly.
I remember I started my corporate job as a sales coordinator. Obviously, my salary was low. Obviously, my hours of work were much longer. Obviously, the effort that I had to put in to learn the job was much higher. And then when I came into anchoring, again, I started from the smallest stage. My audience was far little. I wasn't getting paid to have an entourage or to have like someone do my hair or makeup or get me my clothes.
Yeah.
The whole point is, do not get attracted to the field of arts because it looks glamorous.
Yeah.
You will get to the level where it is glamorous, but you will have to still tough it out. You will still have to work your butt off. Nothing comes easy. So say, for example, today, the highest performing actor in our industry or the highest performing anchor in our industry is at a certain level. That person didn't reach there without perseverance and hard work.
Yeah.
You can't discount the number of years they've put in to arrive where they are. It's been a journey. You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to drop my, career. I'm a marketing executive in a company, or I'm an accountant and I don't want to do this anymore. What I actually want to do is storytelling, but I'm not going to start from
Scratch.
not getting paid.
From bottom.
You really have to take that risk, and you should
Yeah.
be dedicated to taking that risk. The other thing that I actually missed out on telling you, Raina, was, when we were talking about what if we don't have supportive parents, and it just came to me. I think the greatest example that we have and the most established actors today is Kangana Ranaut.
Yeah.
She fought with her parents before she moved to Bombay, and look where she is today.
Yeah. Her journey is
Her
truly.
one is incredible, right?
She taught herself English. She's still learning. She
Tutors
still has
herself.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she still tutors herself, and that's what I'm talking about. There is good in every journey. When you want to call somebody your inspiration, look at all the goods, look at all the negatives, look at all the growths, look at all the failures. That is when you reach a full clear identity of why is that person my goal, and why do I want to follow that particular path. Also, when people say I want to follow a path, don't follow the person.
Yeah.
Because if you follow the person, then you're not doing too much for yourself, because every person is different.
Yeah. And talking about calculated risk, money is an enabler, right? So if suppose if I want to do say something, and then I have my family money behind me, and then I'm like, okay, I can take this risk. It's not like it's the end of my life, right? It's easier for that person to take risks who has some financial backing to it. So how does one plan for it? So you said we were talking about Kangana Ranaut, right? So like how she didn't have a financial backing, but still she went for it. So how does one without a financial backing kind of plan for it? Does it involve a lot of meticulous planning out to the last detail? But how much can one plan in this? It's not going to be predictable till the end, right? So how does one go about that?
So
How
this
does one manage their money to fulfill and to fuel their dreams?
right. So these are the two things. One is you either start really young, like Kangana Ranaut, right? She was 18. So then you don't care. You don't care about how much you're earning, where you're staying, with whom you're
Yeah.
staying, how you're carrying yourself, what you're doing, etc. The second thing is, say you've actually lived your entire life and you know exactly what you're doing in terms of, the career path that you've chosen, and how far and how to what extent do you want to go in this career before you make a shift. So in both cases, you will actually end up having a certain, um, you know, um, a certain level of what's that called? You will have a certain level of uh, you
Comfort in
don't
life.
know. I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Um,
You'll have
you're able
expectations how
to
lifestyle, right? Like how your life.
No. So I'm just talking about, say you start off young, like Kangana, say you're 18, say you're 19, and all you want to do is you're driven by passion.
Yeah.
All right? And there are tons of people in this business who've just done that. They've purely followed their passion, their dream, and they've taken 10 years without looking left or right. They've done theater, they've done writing, they've done direction, they've done casting before they became actors, or before they became entertainers, or before they became artists. In my case, what I did was, the 5 years that I worked, I actually never saved any money. 4 years out of that, because I never even knew this was my passion or this is what I wanted to do. But the last year, before I decided to move, you remember I was telling you about the SWOT analysis that I did with mom?
Yeah.
I actually sat and wrote in that sheet, how much money do I need to take a 6 months risk?
Okay.
So I actually put down the 4-5 things that would be fixed expenses. So my rent, my travel, my food were fixed expenses at that point of time. I had no debt on me. So it was as simple as that. Apart from that, I need an X amount of money that would help me, live my
Did you
life.
cut back a lot when you were saving?
No, I actually put a blanket figure to the whole thing. And I think when I was much closer to the figure, so it was by the end of this year, I'm going to have X amount. And I think I was running short by like a small I was running short by like a very small amount from the amount that I wanted to start off with. But I said that's good enough. So now I may not be able to spend 8 months pursuing my dream, but I can spend 6 months. But
Yeah.
thankfully, I never touched 1 rupee from that because I was so honest and committed to the dream that I had. So literally, when I moved to Bombay, my first event was for 12 people and was for 12,000 rupees.
Yeah. Talking about that, a lot of people feel that, okay, we're not going to take smaller jobs. Some people feel that, okay, we're going to only accept the bigger roles and we won't take smaller jobs. So what's your comment on that?
I
We
actually,
should be able to financially support ourselves and not just, worry too much about the money that's involved in it.
I have been a very firm believer of the fact that if you have talent, it's not going to go unnoticed. It'll never go unnoticed. I mean, you've got so many avenues opening up today. Look at Vijay Varma. Look at Gulshan Devaiya today. Um, Look at Manoj Pahwa. Look at Kumud Mishra. Look at Irfan Khan, where he's today. Look at Nawazuddin Siddiqui today. If they would have said, no, we don't want to do a small part. Look at Divya Datta. When I moved to Bombay, I did not want to be.
Okay, I think we've lost. Yeah, I'm putting you back in 1 second. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So when I moved to Bombay, I did not want to be an A-lister actor. Who I really wanted to be was follow the likes and steps of Radhika Apte. I wanted to follow the footsteps of Divya Datta. Even Radhika wasn't as big at that point.
Yeah.
Divya Datta was. And I told Divya this when I met her. I said she was my inspiration. I wanted to be an actor. I didn't want to be a star at that point of time. So it's very important for you to actually put down who you want to be. What do you want to become in your life? What are your goals? If you're ambiguous with your goals, then your plan will be ambiguous. If you are clear about your goals, your journey will become much clearer. I mean, why is it today that you turn on your GPS before you get out of your gate? You
Because
want
you
to
want to
know
reach.
where is the traffic, you want to know how long it's going to take. And yet, after all that planning,
That's a
you
great
may
analogy.
you may still meet with traffic and it'll say plus 4 minutes, plus 12 minutes.
Yeah.
But you
You're
carry
on your
in
way.
your car. So you don't have to stop. So whole point is how well are you prepared to meet your goal through your journey with enough preparation for scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3.
Okay. So talking about the other problems that happen, that come in a woman's life is getting married, right? So a lot of women's dreams end when they get married because probably their partner is not that supportive, or that they have kids, or that they're already married and married with kids, and then they realize that, oh, okay, probably I have a dream, and probably this is not what I wanted my life to be. So how do they navigate their life from there? You know?
That's a very personal question, I believe, because look at me.
So you
Okay?
are a single woman, right?
Exactly,
So
look at me. I
I know.
don't have a ring on it. All right.
So
Um,
how important it is to find a partner who sees you as an individual and not sees you as his wife or the future mother of his children, and sees you as an individual, a woman, a person with dreams.
so here's the thing, right? I don't know if I can speak about marriages that have already happened in the past, but the marriages that could possibly happen now, after this conversation, after this chat, the one thing I can tell you for sure is the fact that today relationships are so much about calculated convenience. Everybody wants to be with each other because the opposite person is bringing you something, whether it's the same sex relationship or whether it is a heterosexual relationship. The whole point is you want to be with somebody who makes you feel special. You want to be with somebody who, when in the most crowded room, looks at you and knows, and you know from the other end of the room that you are that person, you know. And I think it's so special. It is so, so special when you end up finding that relationship. And that relationship simply means to say you don't have to ask for a compromise. You simply are in a place where you are accepted for who you are.
Yeah.
There is no pretense, there is no there's no superficiality to it. You are your own true honest self. And I don't think it is eventually a marriage of, you know, economic strata, you know, the other divisions of the society that are in place. It is purely a choice of two individuals, two adults choosing to spend their life together. And if you have actually done your entire, you know, your entire, if you feel that way and you've done, you know, you've spent enough time with this person and you know what are the dreams and aspirations that this individual has, and you've communicated what your dreams and your aspirations are, and you feel the same kind of support coming before the word marriage,
Yeah.
then you know that it's a decision that you are taking with your conscious mind. Now, anything can happen tomorrow. Things may change. People may change. I mean, until last week, we didn't know we are all going to be sitting at home without any work, without, you know, without planning what's going to be cooking in our kitchen, without our helps being here. We didn't know our world is going to come to an end, right? So anything can happen. But the whole point is, if you step into a relationship knowing that this is a relationship not of convenience, but of equality, but of acceptance, of respect, then I don't think you will ever find that trouble. And I think that's the kind of relationship my mom has always aspired me to have, which is why she never forced me to marry.
That's great. I think a lot of moms can learn from your mom about that, because I believe that everybody keeps hearing once they hit 25, 26,
Yeah.
that this topic starts and it never ends
No,
until
it
you're
never.
married.
No, it never ends for many, many, many families. Yeah,
Hmm.
it doesn't. And it's a very hard fact. But again, you know, that brings me to the same story that we were saying, that if your dream is not to get married and your dream is something else, then start proving it well in advance. If your dream is to be an academic, then you please make sure that you study well enough. You crunch in those numbers. You excel at what you do. Don't wait for that last panic button, you know, and then be like, oh, but now I need to escape through the fire exit or the emergency exit. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Be consistent towards your goal since the day you recognize your goal.
So have you always been a big dreamer? And also, I wanted to ask you about the kind of risks that you have taken, right? Like, were you ever worried about getting typecasted when you did, I think your character as Cuckoo was when you got the maximum
Yes,
recognition in your
100%.
career, right?
Yeah.
So, were you worried about getting typecasted or how the audience is going to perceive it? And how did you sort of just went ahead with it? Did you feel that, okay, this is going to be something huge and everybody's going to fall in love with the character? Or was it something you didn't expect? What was it like?
Yeah, I want to start by saying, yes, I'm a very big dreamer because I'm a very large sleeper. I really enjoy sleeping a lot. So I guess I dream a lot, and that's true. But when I do wake up, I actually try to remember the dreams and action them. And I just don't let them be, they're dreams. That's fine. No, I actually sit and work on the dreams that I have. Sometimes I daydream, and that's when I get most of my ideas. Uh, and there have been things like, you will always know it's a real dream when it keeps haunting you, when it keeps nagging you, when it keeps bugging you. Listen to it because it's real. It's not fake. If something inside you is telling you what you're doing is not working for you, it probably isn't. So please make sure that you listen to all the conversations that are happening psychologically and physiologically inside you. It's extremely important that you listen to yourself. That's one. Two, yes, Cuckoo was one of the most landmark, iconic roles of my career. But of course not. I never thought I'm going to be typecasted or stereotyped for that matter in the business that I do. And I was pretty keen about it because I remember my first film ever in my life, like my first Indian Hindi commercial film, was with Salman Khan, and I play a maid in it. And I don't think I've ever been offered a role of a maid ever in my life. So I don't think that I would have ever ended up getting typecasted. Also, Cuckoo was a character that I think was the most incredibly written character in more than 100 years of cinema.
Yeah.
So for another character like that to be written, I would have to be like 137 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would be getting typecasted in that sense. And the whole idea is that you want to do good work, you want to do consistent work. I, for one, have always believed if it touches me here and it works for me here, then I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because I'm the only one who's going to answer the question to myself. In the last year, I've done a film with Rajat Kapoor, and I've done a film with Alankrita Srivastava, and I've done a film with Zoya Akhtar, and you know, with Goldie Bear. All I'm trying to say is there's enough and more work out there. But you should only do the work that kind of touches your heart. If it makes you feel right, then you're doing something right. Listen to this, and you will never go wrong. And there was one more question that you asked in that. No, I did not think that Cuckoo is going to be such a huge success when I was doing the show. But I think 1 month before the release, I was going through the pictures on my phone. And that's when I had this little butterfly in my stomach. One butterfly, not too many, one butterfly. And I was like, ye kuch bada hone wala hai. Like, I felt it. I felt it 1 month before the show. Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it by like thinking ki haan, ab to
Yeah, I had one butterfly. I was pretty sure. Kuch to hone wala hai.
gut feeling. Yeah. So Savitri here is asking, who is your idol in life?
I believe that, you know, when you reduce your dreams to idols, then, you know, you kind of tailor your life around their choices. So what I do is pick my goals, and then I read biographies or watch videos of people who are successful in that goal or towards that. So then it's easier to pick traits and personalities, you know, personal traits or professional traits to become successful in that goal instead of having an idol, which is what we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Right? We were talking about how you limit your growth if you start chasing the person and not the goal. So if I want to be a good tennis player, but I only follow Andre Agassi, then I would have to learn the good and the bad of only that guy. But instead, if I follow the sport and learn from several people associated with the sport, then I know my goal is right, and I'm learning multiple good aspects and personality traits from everybody to become one with all the traits. So it's easier if you have a goal and not an idol.
Okay. So I really wanted to know that what's the most, you talked about taking calculative risks, right? So I wanted to know what's the most impulsive thing that you've done in your life?
Oh, wow. Impulsive thing I've done. Okay, so this is really so I think when I was turning 30 years old, I was sitting in my house planning my first solo trip.
Okay.
And I was planning a trip to Turkey. And I think the most impulsive trip that I did was actually, so we were sitting and I was showing, you know, I was sharing my itinerary with my mom. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to see, blah, blah, blah. And then she looked at me. And I don't know, in that one moment, I said, do you want to come? And she was like, do you think I can come? I said, of course you can. So we actually did our first trip together. I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017 or much earlier. No, it was 2013. Sorry.
Okay.
It was 2013 when we did my trip. And guess what? We have done a trip every single year after that. Mom
Wow.
and daughter. We take one holiday every year. So I think that was one of the coolest impulsive things that
That's
I.
awesome. So my last question to you is that why do you think many women give up on their dreams, Like, is it the fact that a lot of our generation, I mean, not our generation, but you know, a lot of women, I'm not talking about you and me or like anybody in particular, but do they feel that okay, theek hai, there's this at back of your mind, there's this backup ki हाँ ठीक है, like if this doesn't work out, then probably, you can get married or something. But that's so wrong, right? Like you should
No, I
be
still
aiming at.
think that I will get married, but I won't leave my career for that.
Yeah, exactly. So why do you
I'm
think a
just
lot of
still
women
gonna
give
end
up
up on
give
truths.
up on their dreams and men don't, as compared?
I think it's just the stigma and the social pressures that we've grown to, grow. We've been raised in.
Yeah,
We've always considered that the breadwinner of the family should be the man. But in my case, my mom has been the breadwinner.
yeah.
In my case, I'm the breadwinner for my house.
Hmm.
So I don't believe that if you raise the stakes, you'll give up on your dreams so easily. The problem is we don't raise the stakes high enough for ourselves. We don't think that our dreams are valuable enough for us not to give up on them.
Hmm.
We always consider our dreams to be plan B. But I think the minute you start considering your dreams to be plan A, you will never give up on them. And that's the whole point. Chase them like your life depended on it. Chase your dreams like there was no tomorrow. Chase your dreams like if you didn't conquer them, then you wouldn't, I don't know, treat yourself. Treat yourself and treat your dreams with the same kind of love and respect. It's extremely important.
Okay. Wow. That was really inspiring. And on that note, I would like to end this session and thank you so much for taking out the time for us and talking to us. I'm pretty sure you've inspired a lot of women out there, not just the millennials, but even I feel a lot of our moms who feel that that we have reached a certain age and there's no we shouldn't be dreaming big. We should be taking care of our family and just living the life that we're living. I think they'd also feel pretty inspired and just go after their dreams, whatever it may be. I think
I
there's
agree.
no age limit
Absolutely
to.
not. I think if
Yeah,
you want to do something, start right now. Make your mistakes,
yeah,
stumble, fall, because you won't stop at the first hurdle. Because if you do stop at the first hurdle, you don't know how many more hurdles there lie before you. And there will be several. And you will get knocked down, not once, several times. But you will keep picking yourself up because your passion is greater than yourself. Your dream is bigger than you. And you will keep following it. That's all.
okay. Thank you, Kubra.
You're
Thank you for
very
joining us.
welcome. Thank you, Raina. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Taimur wouldn't give you a kiss, but I will. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.